when he faked Stockholm Syndrome to be with her. Chapter 1. The rain hammered against the yacht's deck as I hung from the railing, my wrists raw from the rope cutting into my skin. 10 days. 10 days of this torture, and all because Victoria Sterling couldn't stand that I'd married above my station. She'd made my life hell since high school, the popular girl who ruled Exeter Prep with an iron fist wrapped in Hermes. Back then, it was accidentally spilling hot coffee on me, letting her Doberman chase me through the parking lot, spreading rumors that destroyed my scholarship chances. Just can't stand these wannabes pretending they belong, she'd said with a laugh that still haunted my nightmares. Now, at 28, she'd found a new way to torment me. My husband Marcus found me on the 11th day. The investment banker who'd once stood up to his family for me now knelt on the dock, begging Victoria like a broken man. Please, let me take her place. I'll do anything. Victoria's laugh cut through the storm. How romantic. Fine, Marcus. Let's see how much you really love your little charity case. What followed was 2 weeks of hell. When they finally dumped Marcus at our Tribeca apartment, he was covered in bruises, his designer suit torn to shreds. But something had changed in his eyes. I need to see her, he whispered that first night, reaching for his phone with shaking hands. Marcus, no. She hurt you. You don't understand, Chloe. I think I need her. The psychiatrist confirmed my worst fears, Stockholm Syndrome. My brilliant, strong husband had fallen for his torturer. I tried everything. The best therapists money could buy. Support groups. I even drove 8 hours to that monastery in Vermont, climbing 999 steps on my knees to pray at their shrine, begging any god who'd listen to bring my husband back to me. When I returned with the blessed medallion the monks had given me, ready to show Marcus, I heard sounds from his home office that stopped me cold. God, Marcus, 2 weeks without you was torture, Victoria's voice purred. Good thing you thought of that plan. Through the crack in the door, I saw them on his desk, our wedding photo knocked to the floor. 2 weeks wasn't enough, Marcus growled. You're going to kill me, Tori. Your wife still doesn't know those bruises are from me clawing your back, she laughed breathlessly. The thrill of it. My world shattered. The yacht, the torture, the Stockholm Syndrome, all of it a lie. A sick game so Marcus could have his affair while I played the devoted wife, nursing him back to health. I was the biggest fool in Manhattan. Chapter 2. I bit my lip until I tasted blood, my whole body shaking as I pressed against the wall. The coffee I'd brought him made just how he liked it, 2 sugars, oat milk sat forgotten in my trembling hands. Marcus hadn't answered Victoria's question, too busy showing her exactly how much he'd missed her. The sounds from his office made my stomach turn. We should stop, Victoria said eventually, though she made no move to leave his lap. Your precious wife might. Chloe's at the monastery, Marcus cut her off. Praying for my recovery. His laugh was cruel. She actually thinks I'm sick. You are sick, Victoria purred. Sick with desire for me. We're just having fun, Tori. You know that, right? Chloe's my wife. I won't divorce her. Fine by me. I like having you on a leash. Now hurry up, you have a devoted husband to play when you get home. I barely made it to the bathroom before throwing up. 6 years. 6 years of marriage, built on what I thought was true love. The first time he'd said he loved me, we were 22, and he'd filled Washington Square Park with roses, getting down on one knee in front of hundreds of strangers. When his family threatened to cut him off for dating trash from Queens, he'd taken their punishment 20 lashes with his grandfather's riding crop and still held my hand after, saying I was worth any pain. At our wedding, during the first look, he'd cried actual tears. This is all I've ever wanted, he'd whispered. Now he was screwing another woman on the desk where he'd written his vows. The memory made me retch again. When I finally looked in the mirror, I didn't recognize the pale, shaking woman staring back. Is this what betrayal looked like? I had to know the truth. As their sounds grew more frantic, I slipped out of the building and drove home. My phone buzzed Marcus, finally remembering he had a wife. Hey baby, just checking you made it to Vermont safely. I miss you already. Don't forget our 10th anniversary is Thursday. Our anniversary. I'd been planning it for months. The reservation at Le Bernardin, the surprise trip to Paris, the vow renewal I'd secretly arranged. Now I knew what I'd really be celebrating the day I finally saw my husband for who he really was. Bark. I froze in our apartment doorway. A massive husky stood in our living room, lips pulled back in a snarl. My whole body locked up. Ever since Victoria had locked me in a room with her uncles fighting dogs in high school, just a prank, don't be so dramatic, I'd been terrified of large dogs. The husky lunged. I grabbed the first thing I could find, a letter opener from the entry table, and threw it. The dog yelped, a thin line of red appearing on its shoulder. Aspen. Down. Marcus appeared from nowhere, grabbing the dog's collar. Then he saw me, and his face went white. Chloe? What are you doing here? The monastery was closed, I lied, still pressed against the wall. The clicking of heels announced Victoria's arrival. She surveyed the scene and let out a theatrical gasp. She hurt my baby. Look what she did to poor Aspen. She cradled the dog's head, shooting me a venomous look. Just because you're jealous that Marcus comes to me doesn't mean you can take it out on an innocent animal. Apologize, Marcus said quietly. I stared at him. What? You heard me. Apologize to Victoria. The dog attacked me. Apologize. Now. I looked between them, Marcus stern and impatient, Victoria smirking behind fake tears, and felt something inside me die. I'm sorry, I whispered. See? Was that so hard? Victoria kissed the dog's head. Poor Aspen. Your daddy will make it better. Our son. She called the dog their son. Marcus draped his jacket over Victoria's shoulders, the gesture so tender it made me want to scream. He used to do that for me. Why don't you head up to the roof terrace, Chloe? His voice was ice. Cool down. Think about what you've done. Chapter 3. The November wind cut through my thin sweater as Marcus locked the terrace door behind me. Snow was already gathering on the outdoor furniture, and he'd taken my coat before shoving me outside. I hugged myself, watching my breath cloud in the freezing air. Through the glass doors, I could see them in our living room, Victoria in Marcus's lap, his hands in her hair, completely forgetting I existed 30 feet away. By the time Marcus's assistant Trevor found me hours later, I was hypothermic. Jesus, Chloe. He wrapped his suit jacket around me, helping me inside. Mr. Hayes he's not himself with her around. The syndrome, it makes him irrational. Once he's better, this will all be behind you. I was in the hospital for 3 days with pneumonia. When I got out, Marcus was waiting with flowers and apologies. I'm so sorry, baby. I don't know what came over me. It's this sickness when I see her, I can't control myself. He'd prepared all my favorite foods, lit candles, tried to recreate our normal Tuesday date night. Just give me time, he pleaded. I'm seeing the best doctors. We'll get through this. But that very night, after swearing he was getting better, his phone lit up with a text. He was out the door in minutes, muttering about an emergency at the office. I knew exactly what kind of emergency required him to pack condoms. The text from Victoria came an hour later, a video of them in his car, windows fogged, her legs around his waist as she moaned about how much bigger he was than her ex. That's when I decided. If Marcus wanted a divorce, he could have one. I went to see his grandfather. Chapter 4. Charles Hayes had never liked me. The grandson of railroad money, he'd built Hayes Capital into an empire and expected Marcus to marry accordingly someone like Victoria Sterling, whose family owned half of Connecticut. I'll leave, I told him in his study overlooking Central Park. I'll disappear, and you'll never have to see me again. His eyes narrowed behind wire-rimmed glasses. Marcus would never let you go. He's involved with someone else. He won't fight it if you handle things correctly. For the first time in 6 years, Charles Hayes smiled at me. 10 days. I'll arrange everything, new identity, relocation to London, enough money to start over. But you can never come back. Never contact him again. Done. He handed me an envelope. There's a shipping company that handles delicate relocations. Be ready. I was walking out when I heard Marcus's Porsche in the driveway. He stumbled in with Victoria, both of them disheveled and laughing. Seeing me with his grandfather, Marcus sobered instantly. He hadn't been home in 2 days, and here I was. Playing the dutiful wife, trying to smooth things over with his family. Baby, you didn't have to come here. He pulled me aside, away from Victoria's sharp gaze. I know grandfather isn't your biggest fan. I just wanted to help, I said quietly. His face softened. In that moment, he almost looked like the man I'd married. God, I don't deserve you. He kissed my forehead, a gesture meant to pacify. Look, I need to handle something with Victoria. Business thing. But tomorrow, I promise, we'll spend the whole day together. Business, I repeated. You know how it is. Her father's firm is considering a merger. Victoria chose that moment to drape herself over his arm. Marcus, we should go. You know how Daddy hates to be kept waiting. I watched them leave, already groping each other before they reached the car. Charles's voice came from behind me. 10 days, Mrs. Hayes. Don't waste them. Chapter 5. Back home, I cooked dinner mechanically. Marcus loved my cooking. It was one of the things that had first drawn him to me, he'd said. A real woman who could take care of her man, not like those Upper East Side princesses who thought DoorDash was a food group. Now I wondered if Victoria had learned to cook too. If that's what their business meetings involved. Marcus burst through the door at 2 a.m., dragging Victoria behind him. Chloe. He was drunk, eyes unfocused. Set another place. Victoria's staying for dinner. It's 2 in the morning. I said set another place. I looked at Victoria, who was smirking at me over his shoulder. She'd won, and we both knew it. Throughout the reheated meal, she made a show of feeding him, wiping his mouth, calling him baby. Each gesture was calculated to hurt me, and it worked. Remember our first date, she cooed. That little Italian place in the village? You mean Romano's? I said quietly. That's where Marcus took me on our first date. Victoria's laugh tinkled like breaking glass. Oh honey, he took all his girls there. It was his move. I stood to clear the plates, my hands shaking. In the kitchen, I heard them whispering. She's so pathetic, Victoria said. Still acting like the perfect wife. She'll learn, Marcus replied. They always do. When I came back, Victoria was examining her nails. You know what I love about Marcus? He's so generous with his affection. She pulled out her phone, showing me her neck covered in hickeys. Oops, probably shouldn't show you those. But then again, you must be used to disappointment by now. I dropped the plates. The crash was enormous in our silent apartment. Fragments of wedding chin-Amy grandmothers. Patterns scattered across the floor. Clumsy bitch, Victoria sneered. Then she grabbed the pot from the stove and threw it at me. The boiling soup hit my legs like liquid fire. I screamed, dropping to the floor as blisters immediately formed on my shins. Marcus finally moved, but not to help me. Jesus, Tori, are you okay? Did any get on you? He examined her arms carefully while I writhed on the floor. She did it on purpose. Victoria wailed. She splashed me first. Through my tears. I saw Marcus's face harden. Get up, he said coldly. Apologize to Victoria. I need hospital. I gasped. I said apologize. Somehow, I managed to whisper, I'm sorry, before passing out from the pain. Chapter 6. I woke up in the hospital to my doctor's concerned face. Mrs. Hayes, you're lucky. Second-degree burns, but they'll heal. However. She hesitated. I need to ask about your home situation. And also, did you know you're pregnant? The world stopped. What? About 8 weeks along. I'm concerned because you've lost a lot of blood, and with the trauma. We need to be very careful if you want to keep this baby. A baby. Marcus's baby. I touched my stomach with trembling fingers just as the door slammed open. Marcus stormed in with 2 security guards. There she is. The woman who assaulted Victoria Sterling. Marcus, please. He hauled me out of bed, ignoring my cry of pain. Witnesses saw you throw that pot at her. She could have been permanently scarred. That's not what happened. His hand connected with my face so hard I saw stars. Don't lie to me. I saw the security footage. There was no security footage in our kitchen. You're going to face charges unless you do exactly what I say. A doctor burst in, the one who told me about the pregnancy. You can't take her. She's a patient. Shut him up, Marcus ordered. The security guards grabbed the doctor as Marcus turned back to me. Victoria needs blood. You're going to give it to her. I'm pregnant, I whispered. Nice try. He dragged me down the hall. Playing the victim again? They strapped me to a chair in a sterile room. The needle was enormous. She's O-negative, a nurse said quietly. Universal donor. Then take what you need, Marcus said. Sir, the standard donation is. I said take what you need. The blood flowed out of me in a steady stream. I watched the bag fill, then another. That's too much, I heard someone whisper. She'll go into shock. Keep going, Marcus ordered. The room spun. My hands went cold. Somewhere in the distance, I heard the doctor from before shouting about prenatal care, about danger to the fetus, but Marcus had him restrained. As darkness crept in from the edges of my vision, I looked at my husband one last time. Murderer, I mouthed. Then everything went black. Chapter 7. I woke to whispered voices. Poor thing lost the baby. 8 weeks along. Can you imagine? Her husband still with that other woman. Rich men are all the same. Did anyone even tell him about the pregnancy? Are you kidding? He ordered them to keep taking blood even when she passed out. You think he cared about a baby? I touched my stomach, feeling the hollow space where hope used to live. Marcus had always talked about our future children, how he'd teach them to play lacrosse, take them sailing off Martha's Vineyard. Now our child was dead, and he didn't even know they'd existed. Or maybe he did know, and just didn't care. I stumbled out of bed, following the sound of laughter to Victoria's room. Through the cracked door, I saw them, Marcus feeding her soup, kissing her between spoonfuls. You're too good to me, she purred. Doctor says you lost a lot of blood. Need to keep your strength up. Victoria's hand slipped under his shirt. I can think of other ways to get my strength back. Their kiss deepened, and I turned away. On the bedside table in the hall, my wedding ring caught the light. I slipped it off, leaving it on the nurse's station. Marcus found me packing at home. Baby. I was so worried. Why did you leave the hospital? He tried to embrace me, but I stepped back. I lost the baby. Something flickered in his eye. Surprise? Relief? It was gone too quickly to tell. We'll get through this, he said automatically. When I'm better, we can try again. I'll make us dinner, your favorite. I'm leaving you. The words hung between us like a blade. You don't mean that. He actually laughed. You're upset, I get it. But baby, you love me. You've loved me since we were 22. I loved who I thought you were. This again? His face darkened. I'm sick, Chloe. The Stockholm Syndrome. Stop. I held up my hand. We both know the truth. His phone buzzed. Victoria, asking where he was. He looked at it, then at me, torn between his lies. I have to go. Just go. After he left, I found the divorce papers Charles had given me. Already drawn up, waiting for signatures. In 10 days, I'd be on a cargo ship to England, with a new name and a new life. I just had to survive until then. Chapter 8. That evening, I stood at my mother's grave in Greenwood Cemetery. The one person who truly loved me, gone 3 years now. She'd been deaf since birth, communicating through sign language and the most expressive eyes I'd ever seen. When I married Marcus, I'd moved her from our tiny apartment in Queens to a nice assisted living facility. She died thinking I'd found my happily ever after. I'm so sorry, Mom, I whispered to her headstone. I failed. Everything we dreamed of, everything we worked for, it's all gone. Chloe? I turned to find Marcus behind me, breathless like he'd been running. I knew you'd come here, he said. You always come here when you're upset. Don't. Shoo. He pulled me against him. I know. I've hurt you. This thing with Victoria, it's not real. She means nothing to me. Nothing? I laughed bitterly. You fake a mental illness to sleep with her. You let me think you were traumatized, broken. I am broken. He gripped my shoulders. Broken without you. Come home, baby. Please. Behind him, I heard the click of heels on stone. Marcus? Victoria's voice cut through the evening air. What's taking so long? She appeared around a mausoleum, perfect as always in designer black. Seeing us. Embracing, her face twisted with rage. Get your hands off him. Marcus immediately let go, moving to Victoria's side. The transition was seamless from devoted husband to her lapdog in seconds. What is she doing here? Victoria demanded. I was just. Save it. She grabbed his face, kissing him possessively. Then she turned to me with a smile that would have made sharks nervous. You know what, Chloe? I'm feeling generous. Why don't we have some fun? One last hurrah. Victoria, Marcus warned. What? I'm just suggesting we celebrate. After all, someone should get some pleasure in this cemetery. Her hand slipped to his belt. Remember that time in the Hamptons? In the pool house while everyone was at the gala? That was incredible, Marcus said, his eyes darkening. This spot's pretty private, Victoria purred. What do you say? I watched in horror as she pushed him against my mother's gravestone. No. My voice came out strangled. Not here. This is my mother's. Your mother's what? Victoria laughed. She's dead, honey. She doesn't care. Marcus was already unbuttoning his shirt. Lost in whatever sick game they played. Please, I begged. Anywhere but here. Victoria's smile widened. Actually, this is perfect. Marcus, remember what you said you wanted to try? He groaned in response, pulling her closer. I ran. Stumbling between headstones, I ran until I couldn't breathe, then crouched behind a monument and covered my ears. But I could still hear them, defiling the one sacred place I had left. 2 hours later, they were gone. I crept back to find my mother's grave disheveled, flowers scattered, the earth disturbed. I fell to my knees and sobbed. I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry. 6 more days. I just had to survive 6 more days. Chapter 9. Victoria's sorority sisters were buzzing in their group chat. OMG, did you guys see what Marcus Hayes did for tomorrow's Yale reunion? The entire rainbow room. I heard it cost 7 figures just for the venue. Plus 99 Hermes bags as party favors. He really loves our Tori. She finally got him to leave that nobody wife. Queen behavior. Victoria read the messages with satisfaction. After years of playing second fiddle, she was finally getting the recognition she deserved. The next night, I watched from across the street as limos delivered Manhattan's elite to the reunion I'd helped plan months ago. Back when I thought my marriage meant something. Marcus stood at the entrance in his tux, scanning the arrivals. Looking for me, probably. Still playing the concerned husband. When he finally went inside, I followed. The rainbow room was transformed into a garden of white orchids and twinkling lights. Everything I'd suggested. To the planning committee, now credited to Victoria. Ladies and gentlemen, Marcus took the microphone. Before we begin, I need to find someone very special. My heart hammered. Was he really going to? Victoria Sterling, where are you? The crowd parted as Victoria glided forward in a white gown that looked suspiciously bridal. Tori, these past few weeks have shown me what I've been missing. He dropped to one knee, producing a ring box. I know I'm still technically married, but... Yes. Victoria squealed, letting him slide the ring. On over the one she already wore. The crowd erupted. I stood frozen as they kissed, as congratulations poured in, as my replacement celebrated her victory in front of everyone we knew. Chloe? I turned to find James Chen watching me with concern. We'd been friends since Columbia had actually introduced me to Marcus at a study group. James. My voice was steady. I didn't know you were in town. Family business. His eyes flicked to the spectacle on stage. I heard about the separation. News travels fast. Want to get some air? On the terrace, Manhattan glittered below us. James handed me his jacket without asking, the gesture so different from Marcus's calculated kindness. He's an idiot, James said simply. No, I replied. I was the idiot. For believing him. My family's company has an office in London, he said carefully. If you ever wanted a fresh start. Real job, real apartment. Not charity, you'd earn it. I looked at him in surprise. He'd always been the quiet one in our friend group, the one who watched while Marcus commanded. Attention. Why would you? Because you deserve better than this circus. He handed me a business card. Think about it. A commotion erupted inside. Through the glass, I saw Victoria slap someone, then security dragging a woman out. I should go, I said. Chloe. James caught my hand. Whatever you're planning, be careful. Marcus, he's not the same person we knew in college. If only he knew how right he was. Chapter 10. 3 days left. I was packing the last of my things when the doorbell rang. Through the peephole, I saw 2 police officers. Mrs. Hayes. We need you to come with us. There's been an incident. At the station, they showed me security footage from the Rainbow Room. After James and I had left, a woman had attacked Victoria with acid. The grainy video showed Marcus tackling the attacker, getting splashed in the process. Your husband's in the hospital, the detective said. He's asking for you. I found Marcus in a private room at Mount Sinai, bandages covering half his face. Chloe. He reached for me with his good hand. I knew you'd come. What happened? Some crazy woman. Said Victoria ruined her life. He laughed, then winced. Can you believe it? As if Tori could ruin anyone. The irony was so thick I could choke on it. The doctors say there won't be permanent scarring, he continued. But Tori's freaking out. You know how she is about appearances. I don't, actually. He had the grace to look ashamed. Baby. I know I've put you through hell. But seeing that acid coming at me, it clarified things. I want to come home. To you. With Victoria's ring still on your finger? He looked down as if surprised to see it there. This? It was just for show. The merger with her father. Stop lying, Marcus. For once in your life, just stop. His face crumpled. For a moment, he looked like the boy who'd cried at our wedding. I don't know how it got so fucked up, he whispered. She was just, there. Exciting. Different. You were always so good, so pure. I felt like I was corrupting you. So you corrupted her instead? I corrupted myself. Tears ran down his unbandaged cheek. I need help, Chloe. Real help. Not that Stockholm bullshit. I need therapy. Rehab. Whatever it takes. It's too late. Please. He squeezed my hand. One more chance. I'll go to counseling. I'll cut Victoria off completely. I'll sign a post-nup giving you everything if I cheat again. For a moment, I wavered. This was the Marcus I'd fallen in love with, vulnerable, repentant, mine. Then I remembered our child, bled out of me for Victoria's sake. No. I pulled my hand free and walked out, his pleas echoing behind me. Chapter 11. 2 days left. Charles Hayes called an emergency family meeting. I arrived to find Marcus already there, Victoria conspicuously absent. I've tolerated your circus long enough, Charles told his grandson. The Sterling girl is poison. Her father's company is hemorrhaging money. The merger would destroy us. I don't care about the merger, Marcus said. No, you care about getting your dick wet. Charles's vulgarity made me flinch. Which is why I'm giving you a choice: divorce Chloe, lose your position at Hayes Capital. Stay married, keep your job. Marcus stood so fast his chair fell over. You can't. I can and I will. You have 24 hours to decide. In the car afterward, Marcus was silent. I watched Manhattan blur past, counting the hours until my ship departed. He doesn't get it, Marcus finally said. What it's like to want something you can't have. You had me, I reminded him. For 6 years, you had me. Did I? He laughed bitterly. Or did I have some perfect version of you? The one who never complained when I worked late, never questioned the charges on the credit cards, never asked why I changed my phone password? Are you seriously blaming me for trusting you? I'm saying maybe if you'd been less perfect, I wouldn't have needed. He stopped. Needed what? A mistress who gets off on torturing people? She understands darkness, he said quietly. You're all light, Chloe. Sometimes a man needs shadows. We pulled up to the apartment. As I got out, Marcus caught my wrist. Don't leave me, he said. I'll choose you. The company, the money, none of it matters without you. You already chose, I said. Every time you lied, every time you touched her, every time you picked her over me. You chose. Inside, I found Victoria waiting in our lobby. We need to talk, she said. Chapter 12. She looked terrible. Her perfect face was gaunt, her designer clothes wrinkled. The acid attack had missed her, but something else had hit its mark. He's choosing you, she said without preamble. The bastard's actually choosing you. I said nothing. Do you know what it's like? She laughed, high and unstable. To always be second choice. My whole life, I've been the one men fuck but don't marry. The fun one. The wild one. The one they leave when they want to settle down. You targeted my marriage. Your marriage was dead the moment he looked at me. She stepped closer. That night at the Yale Club, when you introduced us. I fucked me right there, with you hanging on his arm. My stomach turned. But even then, even with him panting after me like a dog, he wouldn't leave you. Saint Chloe. Perfect Chloe. The woman every man wants to marry. You destroyed my life because you were jealous? I destroyed your life because I could. Her smile was razor sharp. And I'd do it again. The only difference is, next time I'd make sure you stayed gone. She pulled out her phone. Showing me a video. Marcus in his office, but the angle was different from what she'd sent before. Hidden camera, she said. Every encounter. Every position. Every time he called out my name when he was supposed to be working late. Why are you showing me this? Because I want you to know exactly what you're taking back. She leaned in close. He'll always want me, Chloe. Even when he's inside you, he'll be thinking of me. I've ruined him for you. No, I said quietly. You've ruined him for yourself. He's choosing me, remember? Her composure finally cracked. He doesn't get to choose. Not after everything. Everything what? Everything you manipulated him into? The fake Stockholm syndrome was his idea, Victoria. He played you just as much as he played me. You're lying. Am I? Check his browser history. He researched Stockholm syndrome 2 weeks before the yacht incident. Planned the whole thing so he could have his cake and eat it too. I watched the realization dawn on her face. No. He said he needed me. He needed the thrill. You were just convenient. Victoria's scream echoed through the marble lobby. She lunged at me, nails aimed at my face, but years of Catholic school had taught me to dodge mean girls. Security pulled her off, still screaming threats. As they dragged her out, she shrieked the truth I'd been hiding from. He'll do it again. You know he will. Men like him always do. She was right, of course. But I wouldn't be around to see it. Chapter 13. 1 day left. Marcus came home with flowers, champagne, and a new wedding ring. I told grandfather, he said. Told him to shove the company. We'll start over, just you and me. Marcus. No, listen. He pulled me close. I've been thinking. We could move to California. Fresh start. Maybe open that restaurant you always talked about. You hate California. I hate losing you more. He dropped to his knees, holding up the ring. Marry me again, Chloe. Let me make this right. Looking down at him, I felt nothing. The boy who'd filled Washington Square with roses was gone. In his place knelt a stranger who happened to share his face. Get up, I said tiredly. Not until you say yes. Marcus, please. My phone rang. James Chen. I should take this, I said. Marcus's face darkened. Since when do you take calls from James? Since my husband decided to fake a mental illness to have an affair. I answered the phone, turning away from Marcus. Chloe. I wanted to check you're still considering the London offer. I am. Brilliant. We've got a flat ready in Notting Hill, and the office is excited to have someone with your marketing experience. Marcus ripped the phone from my hand. She's not going anywhere, Chen. He hung up and threw my phone against the wall. London? You were planning to run to London? I was planning to start over. With him? With myself. Marcus laughed, ugly and bitter. Right. Because James Chen has been circling you like a vulture since college. You think I didn't notice? You're paranoid. Am I? He backed me against the wall. Maybe I should have been paranoid sooner. Maybe if I'd paid attention, you wouldn't be planning to leave me for another man. I'm leaving you for me, I said. Because I deserve better than a man who lies, cheats, and manipulates everyone around him. You deserve, he stopped, his face crumbling. You deserve everything. And I destroyed it all. He sank to the floor, shoulders shaking. For a moment, I saw the truth. He wasn't crying for our marriage or our lost child. He was crying for himself, for the man he'd thought he was. I'll sign the papers, he said finally. Uncontested. You can have everything. I don't want everything. I just want my freedom. He looked up at me with red-rimmed eyes. Will you ever forgive me? Maybe. Someday. I stepped around him. But I'll never forget. That night, while Marcus drank himself into oblivion, I slipped out with just one suitcase. The shipping company Charles had hired would handle the rest. At the docks. A cargo ship waited. Not the Queen Mary, but it would take me to my new life. As Manhattan's lights faded behind us, I finally let myself cry for the girl who believed in fairy tales, for the woman who'd accepted crumbs and called it love, for the child who'd never had a chance. But mostly, I cried with relief. I was free. Epilogue. 6 months later. The letter arrived on a rainy London morning, forwarded through 3 law firms to maintain my anonymity. Chloe. I don't know if you'll ever read this. I don't know if I want you to. Victoria is in prison. After you left, she went completely insane. Attacked me with a knife. I have the scars to prove it, karma, I suppose. I'm in therapy now. Real therapy, not the bullshit I put you through. Dr. Martinez says I have narcissistic personality disorder with sociopathic tendencies. Sounds about right. I dream about you. Not in the way I used to, not possessive or sexual. I dream about your smile when I proposed the first time. Your laugh when I burned our first anniversary dinner. The way you used to trace patterns on my back when you thought I was asleep. I dream about our child. Boy or girl? Would they have had your kindness or my selfishness? I'll never know, and that's a punishment I'll carry forever. The company is gone. Grandfather had a stroke when I refused to take it back. The Sterling merger destroyed us. I work at a small firm now, the kind that wouldn't have hired me before. It's humbling. I hope you're happy. I hope you found someone who deserves you. I hope you wake up every morning knowing you're loved, truly loved, not the twisted thing I called love. I hope you never think of me at all. Marcus. I read it twice, then fed it to the fireplace in my Notting Hill flat. Outside, London was waking up. My new life was Kalinga job I'd earned, friends who knew me as Chloe the marketing director, not Chloe the victim. James had kept his promise. The job was real, the flat was mine, and slowly, I was learning to trust. Again. My phone buzzed. A text from the grief support group I joined. Coffee after today's meeting? Sarah. I smiled and typed back, absolutely. The past was ashes. The future was mine. And for the first time in years, that was enough.